Differences between America and Canada being the metric system, and when he says like, oh, 5 liters, I'm like, I'm not sure I know how much that is.
That's a lot of quarts.
It's a lot of quarts. Thank you.
20 cups of fat you're going to save.
See,
how about cups?
A couple of things that we're doing for you. Not only are we helping you save fat, we're helping you get back in the kitchen, right? We're helping you get back in the kitchen, have fun in the kitchen, have the right tools with our proprietary brand, Kitchen HQ, which is based on and designed after what we hear from you, the comments we hear from you. But take a look at this. This is genius, because if you're picking up oil or you're picking up your dressing, usually we overpour. We just overpour, right?
Absolutely.
This way you can pour. There is a pour spout on here, but you can spray in these glass containers that won't stain, that won't hold an odor. It is a 2-pack, either in red or black, for a $20 bill on a weekly deal drop.
So here's how it works. First of all, they're glass, meaning your oil won't get rancid, your vinegar won't get rancid. That's great. 16.5 ounces each. You can, with this little button on the top, look at this. If I click that, and I click that, you can free pour. So absolutely, pour your vinegar, pour your oil. However, when I lock it like that, watch this. Now I'm spritzing my oil. Now, why do you want to spritz your oil? Couple reasons. One, when you free pour your oil, you don't really know what you're doing. And you might think, a little glug of oil. Guess what? A tablespoon of olive oil has 14 grams of fat and almost 120 calories. 1 tablespoon. Wow. 1 tablespoon. So if you cut out even 2 tablespoons a day, or maybe even per meal, it adds up to 20 cups of fat you're saving a year. So you saw me cooking with our cookware earlier. To start a dish, I would just spritz my pan. And that way, I get the color I want, the caramelization, the sear. I don't need a tablespoon. I certainly don't need 2 tablespoons. So it's a great way to save on those calories from fat, but then also your vinegar time. If you want to gently dress your salad without making a full-blown vinaigrette, spritz your salad with the vinegar, and then spritz it with the like and it's an easy way.
And can I say too, I get a nicer spread on there too. Whenever I try to just pour, it all kind of in one spot. Like what would you say, a glump?
A glump of oil.
Glump. Is that the metric system?
That's
you guys
that's a culinary term. That's an official culinary term.
But it describes perfectly what happens. You pour it, and it like all ends up in one place. It is way too much. Now you've wasted oil. Now you're wasting calories. Everything's getting soggy. Now you can pour if you like. And I like this nice, gentle pour. It's a nice control. Or you can spritz in these.
You can lock it now and do a spritz. So it's up to you. By the way, if you're a baker and you use those store-bought non-stick cooking sprays, you don't have to buy those either. You put some canola oil in here, vegetable oil in here. You can use olive oil, truffle oil, sesame oil. So use one for your oils and use one for your vinegars, or use one for your cooking oil and one for your finishing oil, or use one for a canola oil and one for a nice extra virgin olive oil. Up to you, but that's going to save you on those store-bought sprays that you don't need, because this will spray it for you.
At a $20 bill. So 2 of these for a $20 bill. You know what I also like too? You're gonna get home, maybe it's the oil, and it comes in a certain container that normally we stick up in the cabinet somewhere. This, you can put it in here and it looks great. Keep it out, keep it on the counter. Maybe it encourages you maybe to cook a little more, or to use these, or you put them on the table for people to use themselves.
Great point about glass here, by the way, Ty. As you said, you can leave it beside your cooktop, for example. Why is this important? With glass and the heat beside your cooktop, it won't make your oil go rancid, or your vinegar. And I know a lot of us out there have our oil and vinegar sitting beside our cooktop, maybe in a plastic container. That's no good. That's where it spoils super quick and gets bitter. Because it's glass, it's not going to absorb any odors, any colors. You can switch from oil to vinegar easily. I can switch out this olive oil for sesame oil or truffle oil, etc. But it's going to preserve the freshness of my oil and vinegar. And then again, as the kicker, I have that spritz function where I don't have to guess about how many tablespoons of fat or vinegar I'm using. I can just spritz to start off my dish, and I'm saving 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of fat every single day. Adds up to 20 cups of fat a year. And really, people get shocked when I tell them, 1 little baby tablespoon of olive oil, 14 grams of fat, almost 120 calories. So sometimes, Ty, you think what you're doing is harmless and saying, hey, maybe I'm making a salad. Guess what? If you're free pouring and don't know what you're doing, you could be eating tens of of grams of fat and calories and hundreds of calories.
Extras that you don't need, and we don't know any better because we are just pouring. And really, the flavor, that flavor that you're after a little bit goes a long way with it.
Absolutely.
Because you still, whatever salad you're making, whatever soup you're making, you still want to taste the flavors of what you made in that salad, in that soup. You don't need all of that oil, or maybe it is the vegetables. You don't need all of that. Just a couple of spritz will do it. Maybe this is your chance to at least try it out. Maybe try it out, get it home, and for 30 days say, you know what, I'm not going to do that pour anymore. I'm just going to spray, and I'm going to see how that tastes. And maybe I'm going to save some calories. Maybe I'm going to save some money because I'm not going through that oil so often, which can be very expensive. You go to pull that off the counter because you've used too much, and you go to buy that at the grocery store, it's very expensive. At a $20 bill.
At a $20 bill. And by the way, I do like the function where you can drizzle freehand. Look how I garnished my soup or how I garnished a salad. Sometimes you do want to pour out a good amount of oil. Like, look, with the cookware earlier, I was shallow frying some crab cakes. So I can open it up to free pour the oil. I don't have to only use it for the spritz, but it's so cool that you're one button away from going from a free pour to a spritz. And I also want to say one more thing about vinegar, acidity. I love to use the spritz of the vinegar, not just on salads. And I want to talk to the audience out there. If ever you've cooked something and you're tasting it and it's almost there, but it needs something, and you don't know what it is, it's acidity. It's not salt. It's not, you know, sugar. Oftentimes, 99% of the time, you're cooking and you say, gosh, what does this need? It's a little hit of acid. Try that when you're making like a fatty pork chop like I just did, or a short rib, or a skin-on chicken thigh. Spritz it with a little red wine vinegar, or lemon juice, or balsamic, and watch how the flavors wake up. So the spritz is awesome for vinegar and oil. Use them both.
Yeah, that's good to know. And to have this out on your counter, first of all, it looks great. Have it on the table for people to use. And we're kind of using it. We're being a little more wise about the oil that we're using, the vinegar that we're using. You don't need to do that pour anymore. At a $20 bill, $19.95, remember you're getting two. You choose the red or the black here. It's just that little addition that you can add to your kitchen that's going to help you out. In the red, less than 800 to go in the red, about 850 left in the black. So these are getting limited. We have hundreds of people calling in and ordering right now. You see right there, over 2,300 have been sold. Yeah, and I think as people get it, they understand it. Like, yeah, that is a better way. A couple other things I did mention. This is going to be more faster, more furiouser. And these, I think that's the next movie.
Furiouser,
more faster, more furiouser. It's going to be fast and furious these couple of hours. I'm trying to show you as many Kitchen HQ items as we can. We don't have time for full presentation on everything. Can we step back here? Can we show these here? Let's start with the push whisk.